What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So, in a few hours from now, we will have the official 11.5 anniversary Sugo-Fest featuring none other than Luffy. Luffy? It is definitely not Luffy. It's LUCCI versus ZORO. They're going to be featured here, of course. And this Sugo-Fest is going to be an anniversary exclusive character. And this banner will be here for a little bit, and it will be split up into 3 separate parts. And that's the goal of this video, is to kind of look at each part, determine which part seems the best, and determine just ultimately, is it worth pulling. So I guess a little bit of a preemptive thing about it. I don't really think it's worth pulling. I think you should conserve your gems, not only because this is labeled as a part 1, so we know that there will be a secondary part later on, whether it be for the Kizuna Clash or the end of month banner. We have to wait and see. I do think it's probably a better idea to conserve your gems, but nonetheless, we'll have a look and see what's available, because things may change. Next, below that, we have the updated 15.2 treasure map. So if we actually go over to this, they do give us a bit more detail. This is the pudding artwork. This pudding artwork looks really good. Like, the shading on this looks crazy. They definitely had, like, the A team working on this one. So just talks about, obviously the trusty characters and everything in regards to it. New items. It says, for all leagues, you can obtain 1 Aurora gem for reaching 1 million points. And then you get, it says for 10 million points in Grand Line League, or 5 million treasure points and 10 million treasure points in New World, you can obtain 1 times Rainbow Guiding Key for each mentioned milestone. Okay, so if you are in New World, you can get 2 Rainbow Guiding Keys for free just by completing the rewards. Remember, the Rainbow Guiding Keys are what are required to perform Rumble Limit Break. So at the end of this treasure map, or throughout the treasure map, you will be able to fully max out another legend. Obviously including the keys that they gave to us after the 15.2 update. Makes sense, right? As well as receiving an Aurora gem. So I haven't seen if they've mentioned in regards to the ranking rewards, because the ranking rewards may change, which may add more rainbow keys or more Aurora gems. We'll have to wait and see. Bonus treasure rewards. Okay, maybe they're just going to mention it here. In New World League and Grand Line League, for this treasure map event, there will be additional rewards past 11 million. That's cool. If you reach 15 mil in New World or Grand Line, you also get an additional Aurora gem. And there's also a Treasure Bazaar updated special 11.5 anniversary limit break material set. If you are low on limit break materials, these sets that come out for like exclusive events are always worth picking up. And then it just talks about the regular stuff. But one thing I wanted to point your attention to, if you go over to the treasure map stuff, right? You can see here that all of these are listed as reserve, except we have a boss team and we have an intrusion boss team. The rest of them are all reserved. So as we know with the 15.2 update, there is no mini-map bosses anymore. It is only final boss and intrusion boss that you have to build for, which definitely makes things a lot easier. Remember, for the intrusion boss, I do believe for the intrusion boss still, you can run whatever you want. There's no overlap or anything. And because there's like 2 separate bosses, you can basically run whatever you want against both bosses. Ultimately, it means you need to stack as many point boosters as you possibly can against these bosses, and you just can completely ignore the mini-map bosses now, which is overall a good thing for, I think, for a lot of players out there. We'll see when they roll out the treasure map whether or not this is a good idea. I think ultimately it should make it much faster to get through these map runs, which means you'll be getting to your 10 million point rewards much faster as well. And then before we talk about the Sugo-Fest, there is the 11.5 anniversary campaign, mentioning here that there will be 25 rainbow gems distributed on November 12th PST time, so that's fantastic. 25 free gems, ain't nobody gonna say no to that. Then we have the login bonus, which is starting tomorrow, oddly enough, which just gets us a bunch of gems and Rainbow Tavern medals, totaling to 25 Rainbow Tavern medals, 25 gems. Then we have a lottery. I don't understand why they continue to do this, man. Like, these lotteries are so trash, because just hardly anyone can actually get good stuff out of them. So, I mean, yeah, some people may get the 100 gems. Then you've got this other one which gives you 10 rainbow gems and you get a guaranteed legend. Like, who cares? Another special rare recruit, 10 gems, and then you got, like, most people will just get the 1 rainbow gem per day, 2 rainbow gems maybe if you're lucky. You know, it is what it is. I just wish that there were a better way to go about these things, because honestly, this is kind of trash, let's be real. And then there will be a free multi-pull distributed tonight as of the release of the Sugo-Fest. So there will be some lucky duckies out there that are going to get Zoro and Zoro versus Lucci for free. It can happen. It can happen. Just saying. All right, with all that in mind, let's actually deep dive into this Sugo-Fest, okay? So this Sugo-Fest is starting tonight. Let's have a look and see when Part 2 and Part 3 are dropping. It should list it here somewhere. There you go. So Part 2 the day after, and then Part 3 the day after that. Nothing really too crazy there. Talking about there's a Rainbow Gem sale. Remember that there is the online Bandai store that you can purchase gems from. Just want to, put it out there for those who may have forgotten about that. Up to 4 free pulls. Of course, we get the free multi-pull every single day. All my free multis that have been happening over the last couple of days have been absolutely trash. I don't know about you guys, but mine have been so bad. So I guess you don't really expect to get anything good out of a free multi. But the free pull, including the new characters tonight, everyone's going to be hoping for good stuff on that one. Okay, now we can get to the step details. So this is the big thing, of course, with the 15.2 update. They have updated it where you can actually receive additional items or rewards by performing multi-pulls. So it mentions here on the 1st and 5th, you can get 5 additional Rainbow Tavern medals, which is actually kind of cool. You basically get a free single pull, and this is in addition to everything else, which is a good thing. I was really worried that they were going to take stuff away just to add new stuff or new steps, but no, it's in addition to doing these multi-pulls. So overall, it is a good change. I don't think they've really done much in terms of the steps. It looks pretty typical. Remember, Part 1, it's typically not the greatest part to pull. They typically front load it with like a bunch of legends in it. Again, we'll see how it all goes. You see that though on the 8th pull is where you get a limited pull legend. We'll see what characters are available very shortly. The 10th pull, oh my god, and I absolutely just skipped past a bunch of it. The 10th pull is big on Part 1, of course, 50% chance for a character to be a legend, and you also get a rainbow level limit break wanted poster. It is only a rare one, so you can only use it on 5-star characters or below, but the fact that it's there is a good thing, right? Next we have the 15th pull, you get more Tavern medals. The 20th pull on Part 1, limited pull legend, and an Aurora gem. Pretty sick, right? And then the 25th pull is a super limited pull with 10 Tavern medals. And then the 30th pull does not guarantee you Lucci and Zoro. So that's one of the main reasons why I wouldn't suggest going too hard on this one. Because, I mean, they're not guaranteed on this part. They're guaranteed on Part 2 and Part 3, but not on Part 1. So be very careful about that. Now we move on to Part 2 and Part 3, which will have a vastly different array of characters that can actually be pulled. The first multi-pull looks like absolutely nothing. The 5th pull, you get the 5 Tavern medals, including the 15th. And then you can see on Part 2 and Part 3, slightly different rewards in terms of you getting a rare int or a rare strength level limit break wanted poster. The 20th pull, 10 Rainbow Tavern medals and a limited pull legend. The 25th, again, 10 Tavern medals. And then you do get Zoro versus Lucci guaranteed on Part 2 or Part 3, in addition to getting a legend, int or strength level limit break wanted poster. So it just depends on where you want to go, whether you even want to go to 30. I think that's a little crazy for a character such as this, but hey, it's your decision, not mine. So with that all in mind, the steps look pretty typical. Like, if you just imagine what we went through with a Super Sugo-Fest steps, it's pretty much the same thing. Like, there's nothing really that crazy about it. The only thing you have to remember, though, is that because this is not a Super Sugo-Fest, Super Sugo-Fest exclusives will not be available. Only anniversary characters will be available. So that's the major difference there. So on Part 1, these are all of the anniversary characters that are available. All of these are actually really good. I'd say the one that I don't really use too much, the 2 Odins, I basically never use. I don't really use Kaido and Alba that much personally. I think the Sabu is still good. The waifus, you've got S Snake, who's very good in Pirate Rumble. Katakuri Big Mom's still a solid character pretty much in all facets. And of course the new guy. And then you got some treasure map legends. Of course, this is also considered the treasure map Sugo-Fest, so TM legends will also be available on Part 1. And then the generic legends will also be available, right? The limited pull on Part 1, I mean, yeah, it's a real mix. It's a real mix of generic, anniversary, TM legends, and then the super limited pull. You know, if you go that deep, it's kind of rough. And then this one right here at the bottom, if you go to the 30th pull on Part 1, you're guaranteed to get one of those 4. So that could be so rough. Imagine going 30 multis deep on Part 1 and you get the Odin and the Scabbards. Oh man, that would be a major L, but it is what it is. Let's move on to part 2. So this is where things get a little bit better, right? Because this is where like typically the rates for the new units are better on part 2 and part 3. So this time around, they've got Dragon, which is kind of cool, you know, a relatively recent character. Zoro and Kaku, Cross Guild are very good, Roger's very good, Strength Luffy, one of the best Rumble legends in the game, Kid Luffy's pretty terrible. You know, the K-Dad character's okay, but they have definitely lost a lot of power. Like, they've just been power crept, it is what it is. They've still got a really good final tap, they're still relatively usable in Pirate Rumble, but not really many people are often using K-Dad all that much. In terms of the TM legends that are available, you've got Nami Karina, which is already adding lots of weight to part 2. You've got Carrot and Wanda, who I think are a phenomenal legend. I don't have the Tashigi yet, so she'd be kind of cool to get, but it is what it is. The rest of them, I mean, Frankie's okay. You know, Stussy has her uses, I guess. And then for the generic legends, Dex Vegapunk being boosted is very interesting. That character has not been boosted, it feels like, on a Sugo-Fest for very, very long time. So the fact that he's finally here, I mean, that's cool. Sword character, very good in Pirate Rumble. Not a lot of good characters, though, in terms of the generic legends, I'll say that. Then you got the limited pool here, which, you know, it is what it is, okay? So, part 2 seems okay, though. In terms of, like, the limited legends, I mean, it really depends on what you're missing. Like, Roger is one of the best characters in the game. Dex Roger, phenomenal, like a top 10 level character. Unfortunately, Nami and Karina, oh, I was going to say, unfortunately, they're not here. Fortunately, they are here, so that adds even more weight to this part. So having Roger and Nami Karina, and you've got Zoro, Lucci, like, you've got a lot of good stuff to look forward to here. Dragon's a really interesting one, but I feel like Dragon's only really good if you have a ton of Revolutionary Army characters. If you don't, the character is not going to be that powerful for you, unfortunately. Just Dragon is such a really awkward character. They really shafted him on release. And Zoro Kaku, I think that they're still a relatively good legends, all things considered. Let's move on to part 3 and have a look. Whoa, okay, this is looking kind of spicy. So you got the new guys, Zoro and Lucci. And then you've got the 3-sword style Nami. This is a character that I have not pulled. I really wish I did pull this character, because this character has been phenomenal for so many people since this unit has come out. So part 3 might be calling my name, because right next to them, Lucci and Luffy, who is another character. I've done a lot of pulls on boosted parts with Luffy and Lucci, and I've never pulled them. So I would love to get my hands on that unit, because it would make my shooter teams phenomenal. It would make them so much better. Of course, I don't have Zoro Kaku yet either. I'd have to go back and have a look and see what the shooter teams are typically running these days, but Luffy and Lucci are definitely a mainstay on those squads. The amount of damage that they can do is kind of nuts, so I would love to get them. Roger Rayleigh Gaban, very good in Pirate Rumble, pretty bad in normal content, but hey, very good in Rumble. And then the last 4 are kind of stinkers, honestly. You got Blackbeard, Shanks, Ace, and the Dex Zoro, who does super evolve, of course, into Quick Zoro. So this Dex Zoro is more free spirit slasher focused, and then he super evolves to become slasher driven focused. So kind of interesting there. In terms of the TM legends, I don't have Zoro and Kaku, sorry. I don't have Lucci and Kaku. I'm getting mixed up because everyone's like dual units with the same guy. And then Mole and Karasu, that's one of the units you'd probably want to have if you were trying to use Monkey D. Dragon in content. Atlas is very good. Bonnie, whatever. Blackbeard, eh. Bon Clay's okay. And then Dex Crocodile has already been distributed through Rumble season, so a lot of people probably already have him, so it is what it is. And then in terms of the generic legends, I mean, Christmas Uta is a really nice unit to get maxed out. Kuma's okay, I guess. Alba's pretty good. Yeah, not a lot of good stuff here. I mean, there's definitely more top end. The top end of this banner on part 3 is very, very good, but after that top end drops off, you just don't have a lot there to really hold it up. So that's the kind of the way I feel. I feel like the top end of part 3 is the best, and then you've got like the part 2 units, and then it drops off to be like the bottom edge of part 3. That's the way that I kind of see it. So really, it really is depending on what you are missing in terms of whether or not it is worth pulling. Once again, I want to reiterate the fact that we are very close to the New Year celebration. We do know that this is classified as a part 1 of the celebration, so we know that there is going to be something else coming out in the future at some point. So you may want to conserve your gems for that. We'll just have to wait and see what they have planned, but it is up to you at the end of the day. I think I might do a handful on part 3. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll have to see how I feel. Of course, we do have the free multi starting tonight, so you just may end up just getting the free stuff on the free multi, and then you just don't have to do any more pulls. We'll have to wait and see. Remember though, it is a TM Sugo-Fest, so these characters will help you in the event. You'll get more points. You'll get the additional card upgrades and stuff. So it is what it is. But that's gonna wrap it up for me though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.